feel like I'm always running behind things to do. No matter how much I manage our deadlines, I always forget something or the other. I have no work-life balance. Either I do too much of one or too much of the other. My family isn't happy with how little time I give to them. It's all because of my poor balance. Hi, I'm Urvashi Bisht, head psychologist at heyy and a practicing psychotherapist with more than 5 years of experience. Today we will be talking about ways to manage time effectively. If any of those statements seemed familiar to you, then it is possible that you are not managing your time efficiently. Do not worry. This is very common nowadays because our lives have a lot of demands and it can be confusing how to balance everything out. Work, personal life, family life, expectations, demands, etc. get too many on the list, creating a lot of stress for us. Finding ways to manage our time is a true art. But why is it that sometimes we can't manage our time? Some of the top reasons for it are procrastination. This refers to delaying doing some work until the end or when the deadline is near. You take time away from investing it into something meaningful to putting it into useless or unimportant tasks. It could also come from the hope that the work will either get pushed further or magically completed by someone else. We may procrastinate when we are unable to manage negative feelings around a task, such as boredom, anxiety, insecurity, frustration, resentment, and self-doubt. We give into distractions for instant gratification. The fundamental concept in behaviorism is that when you are rewarded for something, we tend to do it again. Putting off a task provides us a relief in the immediate present, which feels like a reward. As such, we keep delaying tasks until it turns into a chronic habit. This is the biggest reason for us not being able to manage our time properly and failing at time management. We feel disconnected to our future self. Known as present bias, human beings are far more focused on who they are and how they feel today. Procrastination could be for both personal and professional work. For example, if you don't want to fold your laundry, you might spend more time at work. This can lead to the overpile laundry, which you end up taking care of only when someone at home yells at you. Mismanagement. This refers to not assigning the correct priority for your task. There will always be deadlines and tasks to be done, but it is important to understand which of those are essential for you and your growth. When we end up mixing up this order, we mismanage our time, creating a bad outcome. For example, you keep doing small administrative tasks that consume 60% of your time, leaving very little for preparing for the big presentation coming up. The administrative task is something that might be possible to give to someone else or split, leaving you with more time for the big presentation. Another element of mismanagement is thinking it will take you less time to complete something than it actually does. You think just because you know what is to be done in the task, it will take you a shorter time. But when you sit to it, you end up overbooking yourself. One task carries over into the next, and before you know it, none of the tasks are ticked off on your to-do list. So how to get away and rid of this, you might be wondering. Well, first and foremost, it is important to acknowledge and say goodbye to the previous ways of dealing with time. Doing so will enable you to start focusing on the correct method. Here are some things to consider and ask yourself before we embark on the ways to manage our time, which will help you realize what your true purpose of spending your time is. What are you sacrificing to stay busy? That is, are the things that you're working on when you overwork critical, or are they stealing away from other things that are more important, such as spending time with family? Accept that you will not be able to do everything. Even though you may want to finish 10 tasks in a day, you're only human, so be realistic while planning. Do one thing at a time instead of overburdening yourself with plenty of things. This will help you ensure tasks are completed more efficiently and also reduce mind wandering. Invest in aimless activities in small pockets throughout your day to help improve your creativity and concentration or reduce stress. Include any form of 15 minutes in the outside world. Promise yourself 15 minutes to stay away from all technology and move around in any manner. When working, put all distractions away for sure. This can be putting your phone on airplane mode or focus mode during work, locking apps, setting app timers, or even creating it in a completely different location. If your distraction is to jump from one task to another, open only those tabs that are required for this single work right now. Promise yourself time away for your friends and loved ones. This is extremely important as research shows doing so reduces your chances of reaching burnout by 37%. This also helps contribute towards a healthy work-life balance. Leave or log off from work at the same time to help create a better way to time manage. For example, keep your window off leaving the office or logging off between 5 to 6 pm. This helps you plan your activities with this in mind for a buffer, helping make your list realistic. Prioritize yourself and your work. In trying to be helpful and wanting to be in the good books, you might end up giving others' work more precedence than yours. You must promise to finish your task first and then only if time remains, factor them in as well. Whenever in doubt about anything, always take help. Instead of wasting your time trying to figure it out all by yourself or even doing the wrong thing, at the first point of worry, just reach out for help. This can save you a lot of time and energy for priority tasks. Leave the habit of multitasking behind. Multitasking seems to be cool and fun, but is the most counterproductive practice present. Research shows that multitasking reduces our efficiency of work and can lower our IQ. We surely don't want that to happen. Once you've understood these and started to make the smaller changes in your day-to-day life, you can now focus on the bigger techniques of time management. To understand which one works the best for you, try to mix and match these techniques. Once you have tried them all, you'll know which one works the best for your lifestyle and style of work. The first and the most famous one is the Eisenhower matrix. This was made by Dwight Eisenhower to help him deal with his problem of making big decisions every day while in the army. How it works is that you need to organize your task list into 4 separate quadrants, sorting them by important versus unimportant and urgent versus not urgent. Urgent tasks are those we feel need to get done immediately. Important tasks are those that contribute to your long-term goals or values. Make a list of all tasks that you have to do and start categorizing them according to the boxes present. A work deadline would come under important and urgent, while spending time on Instagram would be not so important or not urgent. After all your tasks have been divided, start with those that are important and urgent and then come on to non-important and not urgent tasks. Tasks that are urgent but not important should be delegated, and those that are not urgent, not important should be removed from your list. This is a great way to go one by one, making realistic commitments to your work and personal life. The next can be stated as a way of time management or even a lifestyle. It is known as Parkinson's law. It states that a task will take us as long to complete as the amount of time we give it. Hence, this focuses on limiting the time you give a task or limiting resources that might help you get a job done faster. For example, set aside 20 minutes in the morning to answer emails and 20 minutes before logging off work. Doing this ensures that throughout the day you don't waste time going through your inbox. If there's any urgent matter, it is highly possible it wouldn't be an email. You can also give yourself a personal task like finishing this work before the laptop battery dies, imagining that no charger exists. You will tend to procrastinate less and do the actual work. This works as a great technique for people who work well under pressure. Time blocking is another way to manage your time. The famous Elon Musk also uses this technique for being productive. He manages his time so efficiently that he can work over 80 hours a week and still make time for himself. On a piece of paper, write down the hours from when you usually wake up to when you sleep. The splits of time can either be 30 minutes or an hour. What has to be done is, from the moment you wake up, assign each time block in your day to a task. These tasks can be anything from eating breakfast to studying for a test. Estimate the time it's going to take to complete each of your tasks and fit them into your time blocks. Add buffer times in between each time block to allow for adjustments during the day. As you do this more and more, you'll realize how much time tasks actually take you and help you include time for self-care and personal life. This is great if you are someone who wants to know what they are doing in the whole day literally. Color coding personal and work-life tasks can also help you ensure that you are covering an equal amount of both in your time. The next technique is the Pomodoro Technique. Pretty famous, right? The Pomodoro Technique was created by entrepreneur and author Francisco Cirillo. This technique uses a timer to break down your work into intervals. Each interval is known as a Pomodoro, named after the tomato-shaped timer that Cirillo created. First, choose a task you need to get done. Then, set a timer, for example, for 50 minutes. Only focus on the task at hand and remove all distractions from around you during this time. When the timer rings, put a check mark on a piece of paper. After it, take a short break. Take a break for about 3 to 5 minutes. Go for a walk, grab a cup of coffee, or do something non-work related to give your brain a break for 5 minutes. Put a timer before you start your break as well. Repeat the 25 minutes round at least 4 times. Once you have completed this process 4 times, you can begin to take longer breaks like 20 to 30 minutes. This is great for someone who might be feeling burnt out from work and wants to break tasks into smaller chunks. Whether you are a full-time student, working, or a parent, better time management skills are vital to living a balanced life. If you have a hard time focusing on the task at hand, try the Pomodoro technique of working more intensely in shorter intervals. Remember, trial and error will give you the best result. In the day and age we are in, our work always ends up getting priority over our family, friends, and loved ones. We get so busy meeting deadlines that we forget to create memories. By following the above mentioned essential tips as well as time management techniques, we truly believe that you can master time and create a healthy work-life balance. Creating a work-life balance will help to give time for physical activities and mental breaks. A happy mind will lead to a happy life. That starts with managing our time. You can always reach out to our helper space in heyy if you feel stuck at a point or feel like the techniques are just not enough for you.